I wanted to tell you that we have a new sound system, and evidently it's not working. We have speakers built in and microphones into the ceiling. So we're gonna ask everybody to make sure they speak up loudly. And if it gets to the point where you still can't hear, we're gonna try to use these. But we'll start off with trying to use our new system that is just really being installed right now. So I apologize, but if you have trouble hearing, let us know, we'll try to use these mics. Okay? So you hear me okay a little? A little bit. Let's make sure we talk loudly, right? For the, kind of the rules tonight, we're gonna have note cards that you guys can, fill out a card and write a question down. And they'll send it up here to me and I'll try to read them and get as many other questions in tonight. We're gonna be here for about an hour and a half, so we'll close at 7. Steve Hansen, one of the candidates, is unfortunately ill today, and apologize, he can't come, but, he just said it's okay to let me know that that's why he's not here. We're also gonna be live streaming this, via the internet, and I think it'll be taped, so people can watch it at a later date. And for the rules, in regard to questions and answers, we're gonna have 1 minute opening comments from each of the candidates, and we're gonna have 1 minute answers to each question. You can direct the question to one candidate or all of them, whatever you would like to do. And then at closing, we'll start closing comments at 7, 1 minute each. So if any of the candidates have questions during the forum, don't hesitate to ask me. We want to keep this informal and have a really good dialogue. So thank you all for coming. I guess just to make it easy, we'll start out here at the center table, we'll work ourselves across, and then we'll open up the forum for questions. Thank you. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Curie Borte. I am a full-time faculty here at Iowa Central in communications. What else do you want from me?
And any other, why you're running, what made you decide to do that?
Well, for lots of reasons, I own a business in the downtown Main Street area. It's called Katie's Over the Moon. I've owned that business for just over a year. So I'm very invested in our downtown community and growth in our downtown community. I think I bring a lot to the table. I have pretty much been a professional researcher with all of my degrees. I'm one of those people that, if you tell me I can't fix a problem, I'm gonna figure out a way and I will do the research to make that happen.
Thank you. Richard.
Hi, I'm Richard Dickens. I grew up in Fort Dodge. I graduated from senior high school. I'm a veteran who served in the United States Navy for 2.5 years. I worked in retail and I'm also a neurologist for insurance companies in the state where I live in Chicago. And for over 20 years. Then I moved to Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma. And I worked in there, and also was involved in politics down there in the council meetings and the issues there. Then I moved back to Fort Dodge in 2007 and worked in the jury department for J.C. Penney's until the store closed. Since I returned in 2007, I attended a large amount of the council meetings here in the city of Fort Dodge. So I learned a lot from the ins and outs of how the city operation, how the operation works. Since that time, I've been appointed by the city council to serve the Mediacom board for 2 years. I briefly served on the animal control board last year. I'm a member of the CIP-10, which is a Columbia House Adults with Disabilities.
Richard, you got that? Okay.
Hi, my name is Wayne Mason, and just a little bit about myself, maybe some of you don't know. I've been in Fort Dodge since 1968. My mother was born and raised here. I've been here since I was 6 years old, and she got a divorce, and we moved back to Fort Dodge. I attended St. Paul's School, South Junior High, graduated Fort Dodge Senior High in 1980. I participated in multiple sports while I was in high school. I've worked at different levels, from factory to now sales for the last 20 plus years. I married my wife here in Fort Dodge. She was a Mahaski, and we raised 3 children. We have 3 great sons, 3 great daughter-in-laws, 9 great grandchildren, and just great, as in great grandchildren. And that's one of the reasons I'm running is I love my family being in Fort Dodge. I'm proud of Fort Dodge, and I want to make Fort Dodge grow and be better for everyone's kids to move back home.
Thank you very much.
Hi, first and foremost,
Make sure you speak
Thanks for coming here today. My name is Zach Moore. I own a shelter insurance agency here in town, small business owner. You've seen a couple of billboards, I'm sure, in the Hy-Vee checkout aisles and everything. I have 3 daughters. I've been here 12 years. They're in the Fort Dodge Public School System. I spent years before being a small business owner as a National Bargaining Committee member for the IBEW in Chicago, at Downers Road, Local 21. I'm a pro-labor guy, big on benefits and good wages for our community, and I want to see Fort Dodge grow and continue to grow with more options for our community.
I'm a veteran from Georgia. I got out of the military.
Introduce yourself. Somebody that we probably all know you.
My name is Eugene Melvin Newsom. I got 2 Facebook pages. One is Eugene and one is Melvin. But what I want to ask you today, the reason I'm running for election to the Fort Dodge City Council, I seek redemption from, I started running in 1979 as for school board. And somewhere along the way, there was obstacles in front of me. So I ask you to correct that and give me a chance to serve the city.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Megan Secor. I'm a 13-year transplant of Fort Dodge. I'm a co-owner and a marketing coordinator for Silver Creek Winery. I am running because I have seen so much progress in the 13 years that I've been here, and I would love to continue that. I would love to help at the city level. I've seen our community do really amazing things, and I've seen our community members do really amazing things, and I want to help them at the city level to do those things. I am a passionate and outspoken member of our community. If you know me, you know that about me. I have no problem asking questions, and I will be a diligent and fair member of the city.
Hi, thank you for being here. I'm sure there's some other things you could have easily done on Thursday night, and you chose to be here, so thank you. My name is Dr. Jim Seward. I've been in Fort Dodge for 11 years, 1 month and 8 days, and I moved to Fort Dodge in 2011. I followed my projected career by being Youth Shelter Care's Executive Director. I did that for 3.5 years. I currently own and operate and practice with Grace Counseling and Consulting LLC, a mental health practice. I have over 30 years of experience with a vast knowledge of diverse human interaction skills through a variety of operations or occupations, law enforcement officer, military, ministry, senior level decision makers, and that is something I can bring to the table, and that is wisdom, intelligence, and strategic planning, and I'm also responsive and approachable.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll start again with questions. I'll start down here for the first round, and then we'll figure out how to make it random throughout the rest of the evening. But first question is, why do you think you are best suited for this position?
I have the intelligence and the characteristics to best represent the citizens of Fort Dodge. I'm a man of faith. I know Christ is my Lord and Savior. I know that the Holy Spirit resides in me and He guides me, and I'm confident I have the following gifts that will make me the best person for this position. In Galatians 5:24 it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control." This is my belief system. It is a part of who I am, the foundation that I do not take lightly, and because I know that God the Father has appointed all men and women who are in leadership, Romans 13:1 tells us that, I'm confident of who I am, I'm confident of my belief system, I'm confident of my decision-making abilities. These confidences will translate to wise decision-making as a member of the City Council and upright representation for the citizens of Fort Dodge. I'm confident, regardless of my win or lose, God has ordained it.
Thank you very much.
I think I'm best suited to city council because I am about this community. I've served on many different boards in the community that support the arts or support different community actions. And I believe that that passion can transform just how we can all act in the city council. I'm also a small business owner, so I understand from a small business perspective, you know, how money comes in and money goes out. I understand how that works. I'm a diligent decision maker. I don't often make a decision without examining all the angles first. I'm not afraid to ask questions and to find out more about any given issue. I will always seek to understand any angle of any issue.
Thank you. Gene?
You can't see me, so I gotta stand up. I deserve to be a member of the city council because I think I'm the most sincere. I care more about the people in Fort Dodge. I believe it in myself than anyone else. I see elderly people and I talk to them and they sit in the house alone. I see people walking down the street dragging a bag and I talk to them. And we need to have places where they can go and rest and shelter, things like that. And if somebody in Des Moines do things that's not gonna be beneficial to Fort Dodge, then I'm gonna get in the car and go to Des Moines and tell them, don't do this. You can't do this. So that's my reason.
Okay, thank you.
I believe I'm a good suitor for this position because I believe in a balanced budget. We shouldn't spend money where we shouldn't. We shouldn't spend money where we shouldn't, and we should use it on infrastructure or community engagement, marketing for this community, to bring in that metro area population, build up Fort Knox the way it was in the 80s when Fort Mel was around here. So we can have that community growth to be that center of Central Iowa again. We used to be a powerhouse in Central Iowa, North Central Iowa, and I would like to see that again with job placement and growth. And I think we're a great community for that. We're really close-knit community, and I'd like to grow on that fact. That's why I think I'm the best.
Thank you, Wayne.
Well, there's a lot of stuff in here, but I think I'm the best suited because I'm a pretty simple person. I look at the problem, I look for a way to fix it. I was married at 18 years old, and figured out how to buy a house, raised 3 great kids, and I own my own business, and worked in union, factory, and now sales. And I will do whatever it takes to help Fort Dodge move forward. I might not have the college degree, I might not have the other things, but I do have your ear, and I've never, ever told a person I can do something without getting it done. If I don't know the answer to the question, I'll find the answer to the question. I will work to get it done, or I'll tell you the reason why it can't be done right now. It's pretty straight and simple. We don't have money for everybody's pet peeves, but we have to make a pecking order of what gets done and what doesn't, because we can't keep raising the taxes just to fund everybody's fun stuff.
Okay, Richard?
I think I'm best qualified as you all see tonight, that we wouldn't be sitting there with one for my petition. When I got my petition to Eugene Newsom all there, and we're able to have the people for Fort vote for the city council person that they want to represent, not to have the city put in whoever they wanted. So I think Pat myself and Pat Eugene for taking the initiative to get out and we got this petition. And that's why you're all sitting here tonight, and why we have eight candidates for this position.
Thank you.
Yes. So I think there's several reasons why I'm a great candidate for this. You know, I have extensive education, I have a doctorate of education. I have been a part of higher ed and K-12 institutions, which tend to be very political, and a lot of people want to make the decisions for everybody else. And sometimes that takes a lot of negotiation and, you know, coming together for decision making. I also understand, you know, we're experiencing growth here at Iowa Central, and putting in new buildings and new structures here. And I understand that the costs have risen significantly because of COVID. So that may me understand, makes me able to understand, you know, what the council will be looking at with things like infrastructure. I'm also a resident and a business owner, so I'm very interested in the community.
Thank you very much. And this next question is very simple, but I'd like to have everybody answer it. Did you sign the petition to get the special election set? Yes or no?
Yes.
No. Yes.
No.
Okay. And then, the next question is, please tell us how you approach disagreements and problem solving. Disagreements and problem solving. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Disagreements and problems.
Yeah, please tell us how you approach disagreements and problem solving.
I have 3 daughters.
It's one of those things where the disagreement usually comes up because there's multiple points of view, they're passionate about those points of view. You just gotta sit and listen, not get too excited, find the right way, and do what's best for the community and the people that elected you.
What's the question again?
Pardon?
What's the question again?
Well, how do you handle disagreements?
I go to the city council meetings almost every time we have city council, if there's something I disagree with, I will get up and have a challenge with the mayor and city council people about what we can do, not do. For example, recently I got up and I had some people that play pickleball. And my boy said, Richard, would you bring this up to the council meeting to, see if we can get a pickleball court here in town? Well, I brought it up and it went one ear and out the other. I had to get up and go back to the people and say, we need you as a group to come in and request that you need a pickleball court here in town. And guess what, folks, we got a pickleball court coming next year. So you can get up and you can fight and win sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Okay, so I'm the only girl of 6. I have 5 brothers, so I definitely understand disagreements. And often, you know, my mom says that I'm the thread that pulls them together, but I was also often the mediator between the younger 3 and the older 2. I have a lifelong experience with being the kind of middleman or the middle person with disagreements. And I'm one of those people that I like to really balance the scales. I'm gonna look at both sides of any issue and make the best decision that I think would be very best for the community of Fort Dodge.
Jim? Problem solving.
And we're talking about conflict resolution here, which is very helpful. Because at the end, we're gonna have some kind of end result that will hopefully meet all of our wants and desires. So the way I resolve conflict is collaboration. Ultimately, there's 5 styles, but collaboration is what we want. So that is definitely something that takes time and a lot of energy, but I'm sure if we have a designated time and the energy behind it, a solution is gonna be solved. And it builds, the great thing about collaboration, it builds relationships and it builds mutual trust. So I want a council that has trust in its members, and then that trust can bleed over and run into the city and have that opportunity to build that trust amongst all of the citizens of Fort Dodge.
When it comes to disagreements, I am forward and I'm not afraid to say when something is working. However, I will always seek to understand all the angles. I must be talking too loud, so sorry.
No, you're doing fine.
But I'm always going to want to understand all angles before we proceed further. I'm willing to sit down and talk it out for as long as it takes to solve a disagreement or to do any problem solving that needs to happen. Yeah, I'm not somebody that's afraid to ask questions and solve problems with people. It's not something I'm into. I will add though, I have 2 kids also, so. Same.
Eugene, problem solving. How do you deal and handle problem solving?
As far as the running off for the city council, some people might think that, well, he can't get along with the council, he's always arguing with the council. We don't wanna put him in there, it's gonna come to a standstill. I can get along with people on the city council board. We will sit down and talk to each other and come to a conclusion where it's gonna benefit the most people in Fort Dodge. Conflict, it's no problem with me. I have never met anybody I couldn't come to an agreement with.
All right, next question, we'll start with William, I believe. Will you seek reelection this fall if you were elected in a special election? Will you run again this fall if you get elected this year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because barely got a few months to start figuring things out. I mean, I haven't been a career politician, so absolutely.
Richard?
I think it's great to see 8 people up there running for 1 seat. And many times I've been in city council, we don't have anybody out there in the field running against different candidates. So I'm just hoping that, win or lose, that these people here will also seek election in the upcoming November election. Because we do need people out there, challenging these people that are on the council now. But we need good people, we need people with new ideas, fresh ideas. So I hope everyone out there, win or lose, they come up to the next election, running at the next election.
So you will run if you win?
Yes.
Yes, I will definitely run again, in November. You know, I'm making a commitment to this. I want to see some growth in Fort Dodge, and that's not gonna happen in a few months between now and the November election. So I wanna go really give to the community. And I have that opportunity. I have 2 raised children, and 4 fur babies at home, and, so I have the time to do that.
Thank you. Sorry, no, Jim?
Yes, I will.
Same, yes, I will.
Will you run if you win the primary in this fall's election?
Yes, I will run again.
Perfect. Okay. Next question, we'll start again with Richard. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll start with Richard. How many city council meetings have you attended in the last 2 years?
I would say 90% council meetings I've tried to make. I've been, not a couple of, because I had some sickness. So whatever chance I get, I attend a council meeting. I try to go to the Webster County Supervisors meetings as I can. I like to go to the big major issues where they're talking about the environment, with different groups there. Just to keep up with what's going on with politics here in Fort Dodge.
I have not attended any meetings here in Fort Dodge. I have attended meetings in Cedar Falls where I moved from. I have a close friend that I've been friends with for 30 years, that's a member of the city council in Cedar Falls. I've met with former and current city council members here in the community and asked them about their experience and et cetera.
Good, thank you. Joe?
None. I have not, nor will I have created any bad habits that I will take to the city council chambers.
Okay.
I have attended 3 meetings, but I have also followed the meetings via the minutes after the meetings, and I've also followed anything that has appeared in Messenger. I too been able to have a chance to speak with city council members just to understand their perspectives, because they have that insider knowledge that I don't have. So, yeah, this is how I spent.
Eugene?
I haven't spent that many lately, but at once a time I go through a lot of them. But I got a solution to that stuff. See, what I do, I sit down and read things, anything, everything, examine it, look at it, and analyze it. That's where I get my information, and that's why I come to my agreement. When I was growing up, people, I go to the bathroom instead of reading a comic strip, I read the dictionary. That's what I did when I was young. So, to, going to the council meeting, I don't wanna sit there and second guess them, I'm not there to second guess them. Well, but I tell you this one thing, if I'm on the city council, you will know what we are doing. I will tell you, and I'm not indicating that there's no transparency, but if I'm on there, it's gonna be clear as water. You can see and you will know.
Thank you.
This year, I've not gone to any, obviously, and in 2022, no. Previous years, yes, and I follow up with minutes on the city webpage.
Also, none this year, COVID year, no, obviously, and previous I had attended a few.
Okay, thank you. This is a general question, I can maybe start. Sure. What do you love most about Fort Dodge, and what is our biggest challenge?
Oh, I really love our downtown. We have this beautiful, quaint little downtown area that, I've gotten to know the business owners and I just really enjoy them. I've built friendships and, things like that. I would like to see, more done with the downtown. But like I said, I love our little space that we have, especially the little corner where I'm at. All my friends are kind of around me that own businesses. Biggest challenge, definitely, growth in the workforce. We need more employment opportunities for our community that provide good wages. We need businesses in our community that, are good to their employees, pay them well, and it's gonna be a challenge to attract that. So.
Okay, thank you. Jim? Okay.
So what I love most about Fort Dodge is the options of churches and the faith and the religion portion. We have a lot of denominations out there. We have a great chance to dip your foot into your faith of choice in many different beautiful churches, beautiful buildings, and beautiful options in that area. I also think that the community has a great school district and a wonderful option for lower elementary schools. Community Christian School is a great community within the school. St. Paul's is beautiful, St. Edmunds is awesome, K to 12. And then we have our public school system as well, with many diversity of elementaries and junior high, and one big junior high is awesome. So those are the best things. The most challenging thing about Fort Dodge is stop calling it dirty.
What I love most about the community of Fort Dodge is the people. I have had a chance to work with them on the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Board and Study Club. I've seen them in the winery, I've seen them in the grocery stores, and they're amazing human beings. I am always humbled by just how giving people are in the community of Fort Dodge and just how much they're willing to give to make our city a great place. I think the biggest challenge that we have is retention of newcomers. I've seen a ton of new people come in, they are my friends, but I think we need to tackle affordable housing. We have a bit of an issue going on there. I do think the city is working really hard to tackle that issue. We need to continue on the train of improving our quality of life. I have seen such a huge increase in amazing things that people can do in our community in the 13 years that I've been here, and I'd love to see that continue.
Thank you. Eugene? What do you love most about Fort Dodge, what's the biggest challenge?
What I love most,
And then what's the biggest challenge?
the friendliness of the people. And hardly ever, there's a little minority of people here, and I've never had a problem with anyone. I can walk up and speak to anyone and have a conversation about anything. What I love about it is people care a lot more, but some of the things, one of the two things I don't like about it is I try to change and work with them is more concerning of the elderly. I see them in their house, I've been to their house, one person comes to the door, one person they living in there, and this one person paying a water bill the same as this person paying with a full family in there. That's not, you need to charge them less. And then the first grade is not a water bill anyway. It's got a whole bunch of things on it.
Yes, what do you love most about Fort Dodge? What is our biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is retaining young professionals. We're an older community we have an older community with an older demographic. And to keep the young professionals close in this community and retain them. We have a lot of citizens on social security and disability. Usually it's an older demographic. That's a problem when you're a bigger community and we'll end up dying. You see a lot of these communities in Iowa die. We don't want to do that. We can grow on our good jobs. We have a lot of good jobs here that we can talk about. The best thing I see about this community is we're at the Yogo-Brea of 25,000 people walk into a store and run into somebody. We're really close. We're so thankful.
I've always loved the people of Fort Dodge and the opportunities that you have in this town. I mean, I didn't come from a whole lot, but I still don't have a whole lot, but I've got a whole lot of love in my heart, a whole lot of love for this town. And I was fortunate enough to be in coaching of youth and high school athletics for over 20 plus years. And so I've seen the youth. I've been around long enough where they've got old enough to have kids and I coach their kids. And I love to see when they come back. The community really sticks together. No matter what, they stick together. And the biggest thing is we need to find ways, and there's got to be some creative ways. And I know people are searching to have better housing. We need the type of people to move to Fort Dodge to create a community that are going to give back to the community and be working in the community, not the type of people that come here to take from the community. We need more people that are willing to give, so our elderly and that can have more. The infrastructure taxes need to help pay for some of those things.
Richard, what do you love most about Fort Dodge, and what's the biggest challenge?
Well, when I recently got married, my wife was involved in serving in the organizations. She got me to join the civic club for adults and disability kids and adults. And when I went one night, went to the last night, and we had bingo for these kids. And to see the joy and happiness these kids got out when they got bingo. They jumped up and ran around in there. And to me, that was one of my most enjoyable moments. I'm so glad my wife got me to join that group. Because I think it's a fantastic, involved in being a whole, and it's just a different organization that she's got me involved here in town, and I think it's just wonderful.
Okay, thank you. I think there's kind of two questions here. One is, crime is an issue for our community. What can the city do to reduce the crime and violence in Fort Dodge? And then specifically, what would you suggest be done in the neighborhood along North 8th and 9th Street? How will you be able to help solve those problems?
So, yeah, crime is having a bit of a heyday right now. It's very noticeable what's going on in Fort Dodge. I think that our police force is doing a good job. They're doing the best that they can do. I know a lot of people have proposed increasing the police force, and I think to be comparable with other cities around us, I think that's probably a good idea. I think that we can help our police officers by helping increase the force that they have and the help that they have. As far as what the city how the city can do, I think the best they can do is to keep supplying people as needed. I think also helping maybe with surveillance in the downtown area might help. However, I'm willing to learn more about that issue. If I can.
Eugene, what do you think can be done with the city's office to reduce crime, specifically North 8th and 9th Street neighborhoods?
When I ran against Debbie, we just talked about it right out there at Friendship Avenue, said we need more cameras. And I asked him, I said, put some cameras over on North 9th Street. There's no cameras over there. So I don't think we need to increase the police force. We got enough policemen on the force. You don't wanna scare people, then everywhere you look at the policemen coming, looking at you, you know, so we need to address the problem of drugs a little more differently. We need to work in concert together. Get the people out of the community, come in and ask them, come and sit down and let's talk. How can we get rid of this? That people ask me about it. We tired of people being found unresponsive in their houses and stuff. And that's one of the biggest things in my community.
Okay, thank you.
We need to expand the camera system in Fort Dodge. We need to have more patrol units. People are gonna disagree with me, and I've been already told they don't like the idea, but I don't think we should replace the police chief. I think we should get in a contract with the city, or the city should get in a contract with the county and have Sheriff Leader, not permanently, but maybe test, try, and run to have, utilize those funds to add another patrol unit. It's not gonna make everybody happy, but we need more patrol units. We have a problem with crime right now. We need to utilize what we have and add to it to stop some issues.
Brian and Mr. Citizen are keeping nice.
Well, yes, crime has escalated in Fort Dodge, but, you know, to be honest with you, we're no different than any other community in the whole United States, because a lot of the younger people don't have any respect for anything. They don't have respect for their neighbor, they don't have respect for themselves, and they don't have respect for their community. So this is a long-term thing. You just can't add 10 cops or 20 cameras. You can take this thing in pieces, but we need to get the youth in those areas, landlords, maybe set some restrictions. I haven't been on the city council, and I don't know a lot about what the city can actually do. There are some things that can be put in place, but there is human rights also. And so it's gonna be a long-term fix, and there's not just one piece of the puzzle to do it.
Okay, Richard?
When I lived in the Chicago area, we had the same problem, and what we did, what the city did, we took a patrolman, and divided up the city, and this patrolman, he was in charge of these 5 or 6 different blocks. And he went around and introduced himself, he looked at there, any problems, he gave me his card. So the people would call him and say, hey, we have a problem here, or something like that. There was good communication between the police department and the residents of the different areas. And to be honest with you, it worked pretty good. When we had some problem, all we did was we called him up, we come over, we talked to him about it, and we stayed with care. So the communication between the police officers and everything, it worked pretty good.
Okay.
There's a couple of components of that. One, I was appalled when I moved here at the number of addicts that I encounter. I was walking into the Quick Star the other morning to get coffee, and it was almost as if I'd become immune to them. These individuals that are addicted, just being present in different spaces, it's almost as if that I begun to ignore them, that they're actually there. And I know that they are building they just opened a recovery house for men in the community, which is larger than the recovery house that they had, which I think will help with that. They're also redoing the old men's recovery house, and we've got a women's recovery house. And just educating the community about addiction and helping those with addiction, I think would certainly help with crime, one. Two, I don't know what the solution is to the 8th and 9th Street. I know that it is a problem. If we didn't have to send officers to that location repeatedly, we would have more time.
Yeah.
As a former law enforcement officer, 25 years ago, Richard mentioned having a community police presence in that area of 8th and 9th Street. I've got to personally say, though, the 100 block of 8th Street North looks wonderful with an empty lot across from Salvation Army. And so I think foot officers in that area get to know the community, get to know the residents, let them be a presence there. I think I support police officers. If we have to increase them, let's do it. Let's give them some training for retention. And then also, let's get an intercessionist or some kind of community. We had somebody 25 years ago that a police officer didn't know a lot about mental health, they'd give them a card and they called it interventionist. So we use what we have in the community about crisis intervention program, have somebody from that program along with the police officer, or we get somebody on the force that can ride and be an option. I know Ames, Iowa has that. They have a licensed mental health therapist on the police force to be an option, and they give them cards out so they can deal with their mental health. That's easy.
Okay, Eugene, we'll start with you. Why do you believe young people and professionals do not stay in Fort Dodge?
I ask people, it's been over 20 years ago, and we need to build a place here for entertainment for young people, where they can go, and got enough seats for thousands of people, go to bring in concerts, bring in plays and things like that. The kids, when they get older, get out of school, they going away. But the trick is to get them to come back. They want to get out and see the world, travel, go places. Once they go out and get their education or whatever, then give them a reason to come back.
Thank you.
A lot of it comes down to shopping and entertainment, really. That's most of it. We have a really low cost of living, so that shouldn't be an issue. It's not a fact, it's way more affordable to build a house up here than it's down. I think Fort Frenzy was a great thing for the community. I think, the rec, the money they spent has been outstanding. I think we need more of that. I think the mall initiative is great for the community. That's gonna help entertain a lot of people. So we need to surround that and help as much as we can in this community for growing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, those are all the things like I said, the kids go away to college, they go away, military, whatever, they experience the world, they need to come home. They all know when they start their family, or when they start looking to start their family, that it takes a village to raise people, or to raise a child. And they get out there and they start looking around, well, where's grandma, where's grandpa, who's gonna be the daycare, who's gonna be the babysitter? Well, they're all back to Fort Dodge. Well, that's where they need to come. They realize they enjoyed their time growing up here, and we need to give them a reason to come back to Fort Dodge. And there's many pieces to that puzzle.
Richard?
What I did when I left Fort Dodge, during the military, got my retail field and stuff, and then when my wife passed away, I said, I moved back to Fort Dodge. It was my small town, business life, I knew a lot of people, and I felt very comfortable moving back to Fort Dodge. And I think I noticed there's a lot of older people, senior citizens like myself, do move back to Fort Dodge because of what they did when they grew up in Fort Dodge and the community of life here in Fort Dodge. It's a small environment, but like I live in Chicago, that's a big city. Go back to Fort Dodge, and it's just great. Get around me, go from one side of town to the other side of town in 5 minutes. In Chicago, it's an hour. It's just great moving. I feel moving back to Fort Dodge. The wages aren't as high as what we used to be, but yet the cost of living is much cheaper. Except when they raise their water rates.
Well, one, I think we need to totally invigorate our downtown. Our downtown could be really key to, attracting young people, and we need to bring in artists, whether it be musicians, people who do art. We need to bring artists into a community. I've seen it in other communities like Asheville that I was just visiting over Christmas. When you bring in artists, it creates attrition, which means it lowers your crime, it lowers your homelessness, and I think that would be just an absolute wonderful thing to see in our downtown community is artists and artists flourishing and opportunities for young people to be able to experience art, music, and other things like that.
Thank you very much.
A good Italian restaurant. All right, so I think we're looking at, 10 years ago, Webster County was 10% of Iowa's economic growth. When we had Cargill out there, and we still do, I would attempt to bring in more companies and organizations out there. I would look at the jobs, the beautification of Fort Dodge, continue with the trail system, beautify. Hey, let's put a Christmas Santa hat on the hall next year, okay? Because that's a beautiful statue representing Rosedale and the hardware Iowa against Minnesota. I think that Fort Dodge, we have some retention, great investment in the downtown area. Let's have the crossroad connection, crossword, connect something, right? So that means bringing in beautification of downtown, let's do it. Bring more opportunities, some more amenities. I think since I've been here, Fort Dodge has grown and done a wonderful job doing so.
As a younger person, I have seen a lot of young people stay, actually. So I think that we've done a great job changing how Fort Dodge appears with beautification in the 13 years that I have been here. I think that we should continue to improve the quality of life. So we need to continue to look to the future. What is the next step for our city? We don't need to stay in the past and decide we're not going to change. We need to continue moving forward. And how are we going to continue to support the culture in Fort Dodge? The arts have become a really vibrant scene in Fort Dodge, and I think we need to continue to support that. I think we need to continue to support small businesses. I think we need to take a larger step in investing in childcare. As a young person, that is an issue in Fort Dodge. Again, investing in the downtown, the Riverside project is a very exciting project. Things like that are going to keep people, young people here.
He started. Well, he did start. Okay, sorry, thanks for doing it. We'll start over here. Do you support citywide vaccines or mask mandates? No. No. Simple. Yes or no?
No.
You know, I guess I have to look more at the research before I can make a decision on that.
Okay.
Can you say it again?
Yes. Do you support citywide vaccine/mask mandates?
Okay, those are two separate things. I don't think I would force anybody to get a vaccine. However, if it came down to the city well-being and the well-being of public health, I would absolutely support a mask protocol, as I did in the past.
No.
Okay, great thinking. Next question is, are you in favor of enclosing the pools at the aquatic center to allow for year-round swimming? Are you ready? Yeah, I'm sure. Are you in favor of enclosing the pools at the aquatic center to allow for year-round swimming?
I would like to see how they're planning on building it out, be a year-round thing for younger children.
You have to see the numbers on it, because that's quite a structural feat. And it might be cheaper to build a separate facility to have year-round swimming, so year-round swimming would be fantastic, but whatever the best way is to spend the community dollars.
Yeah, Richard?
Yes, I think, having a closing, part, and we should add that, when it was up, first part for election, for, bond issue, but we first required cigarette. There's a lot of people thought at that time, there should be a
Boy, indoor water park, I haven't really thought about it. In other communities, I've seen it invigorate those communities, so maybe it would be beneficial. But again, what would the cost be, to the community? Is that something that's a priority at this time? I mean, I'm not sitting on the council right now, so I can't tell you that.
Okay.
No, let's keep it open through the month of August first and see if we can get enough employees there to be lifeguards for that.
I would love to see more research, before I make a decision on that. I'd love to see the costs, of both.
I'm gonna use the whole name. Actually, is the pool heated? Is it, what the,
I think the water heated out.
really?
Anyway,
If the same thing with climate change. They can't have people like that running around. They're playing football. So you gotta get, everybody gonna get on board. But they don't wanna do nothing about climate change, then,
Okay. The community sewer initiative identified 80 million of needed upgrades and repairs. The city council has approved 50 million for this work. Are you in favor of finishing the needed repairs?
Yeah, we need to keep, we don't wanna be Flint, Michigan, we wanna keep our infrastructure updated. We have to take care of the city when we grow the city.
Okay.
So I'm in favor, we need to finishing our project.
We definitely need to finish the projects in the order of importance that are needed the most, because if you buy something, you can't quit maintaining it. You gotta maintain it or it's just gonna fall apart. You gotta buy new again, so.
I've seen that movie, film on the,
Can you speak up a little bit?
I seen the film that, our structure at the city of Fort Dodge, the water line, lines line, and they are deteriorating, we are in bad shape. At first I was against, some of the stuff that they were doing, but after seeing that update of the, construction, I forget that word anyway, instruction of our lines in the city of Fort Dodge. So I was, like I said before, I wasn't for it, but after seeing this, and seeing how the city looks, it's some of it, yes, we do need to continue.
As a business owner, I was asked this question early on when I decided to run this campaign, and I really didn't know how I felt about it. I really didn't. But as a business owner in downtown, where my entire basement right now is trenched to put in new piping that has collapsed. And the plumber came to us yesterday and said that the city lines are so poor that it's gonna be very difficult to connect our new pipes that we're putting in, spending tons of money to put in to our business, to the water lines. So I think that, infrastructure is important. Where we're gonna find that extra money might take some real finagling. Perhaps there's some grant money out there from the federal government that we can obtain to assist us with that project.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful that they approved $50 million. And I would do whatever I can to continue that process and make sure that we have that infrastructure that is sound and will last another years to come for those who are gonna stay in Fort Dodge and invest in Fort Dodge and grow Fort Dodge.
Yes, I'm in favor of the community sewer initiative. We can't keep kicking the can down the road. We have to continue to improve our infrastructure, including the sewer and the water system. We had a lot of broken water mains last year. I think it costs more to be reactive than proactive, so I absolutely support it.
I have a lot of experience with paving and all of that stuff. That would be beneficial to the city council man, where you put asphalt and asphalt. I'll be asking for, give me 10 inches of concrete here at this place, and then I'll be right out there on the job site too. Tell them, no, compact it down some more, compact it down some more. We don't want this shit cracking and God, you make it last.
Thank you.
$50,000.
Thank you, Billy. Okay, there are 3 big projects that are underway or planned for Dodge. The Warden, the mall redevelopment, and the new potential rec center. Are you in favor of expending city funds to get these projects underway and possibly finished? Start over here with you, Judd. Go back on this one.
Oh, sure. I really enjoy seeing the progress of the mall and what was the mall. I mean, everything with that little part is gone. So, I drive my kids to school every day that route and go right by that construction site. I love seeing the progress. I just love it. As far as the Warden and the new potential rec center, anything to help that eyesore downtown. And I don't know what it is, I have no idea what it's gonna be, but anything to make that alive and vibrant again. And as far as the new potential rec center, hopefully that's gonna be where the indoor pool is. There's a beautiful rec center area in Osage, Iowa. That's a beautiful indoor swimming facility and also workout rooms, and it's a great place. So I hope that new rec center will have an indoor swimming facility we talked about.
Yeah, I absolutely support, those projects that are going forward, especially the mall, area, that this is a great new step forward. Again, this is improving the quality of life for, our current residents and any new residents that might come. As far as the rec and the board are concerned, I think those are, well, for the rec, I think it's a very exciting opportunity, again, for improving quality of life. As far as the boarding goes, I think that there's a lot there to unpack, and I would love to see just how much it would be to do something new in there versus tearing it down. So I'm kind of on the fence about the board.
All right. Jeannie?
Or the same thing, I don't know that much, I don't know what the people on the city council know about that, but, I think it's just extra baggage, I just look at it, I mean, I got memories of the board. I used to date someone that lived in there. The only thing I wanna do is get on the city council, do everything I can do for the people of Fort Dodge. My daughter and my 3 granddaughters sitting up there. That is my main reason for being on the city council.
Thank you.
I would support anything to help the city grow the mall initiative, and the rec's a great idea, but I still want to see the costs on that. The warden's, it's way too much. We need to either get it with a corporation that wants to make it into an Airbnb. I don't want the city having to dime into that thing. Tear it down, rebuild. We don't need to be spending money on it. If it's sitting there too long.
Yeah, I agree a lot, with that. I love the Crossroads Mall, that needed to be done, it had to be done, we had to move with the times. But there's a lot of private money involved in the Crossroads Mall, which makes it better. There's not a lot of city tax dollars that have to go out the window for that. The warden, again, it needs to be a corporate entity, there needs to be an ownership, the city needs to help, but that is not a taxpayer funded project. That money can be used better other places. And the rec center, whether the city wants to be involved in that, that's gonna have to be a vote and a cost and replacement issue. There again, that could be privately done just as easily, and the city can help that private firm with TIF or whatever needs to be done to take the burden off the taxpayers.
I spent a lot of hours out at that mall, working with J.C. Penney, so, yeah, when I'm going out there every day, I love how many hours out together. And I see what the results are gonna be there, it's just a fantastic shopping area. I think the people for guys really gonna like it, once it does get through. The Warren Plaza, I have to agree with some of the other people, I think we should just destroy it. Bring it down, destroy it, put some other businesses in there, or just find some use for it, because that's not real, like, city council was dealing with that warrant for like 5, 6, 7 years. And there's nothing being done to it, so something does need to be done.
Well, I haven't seen the numbers because I'm not currently on the council, and I think that numbers would be my biggest, whether I'm a supporter of wrecking something or bringing in a corporation or, what we're spending in the mall or what we're spending, I think that would all come into play. I wanna see those budgets before I can really tell you if I'm supporting any of those.
This is from a few of the candidates evidently. The question is, several candidates have indicated they ran because they were tired of complaining and wanted to get in and start to help getting solutions to the issues they were complaining about. If you were one of the candidates that was complaining, what were you complaining about and what would you recommend be done? So, you can go into complaints or just a few. How would you correcting this to? I guess
I'm happy to start if you want.
Sure.
I don't have any complaints so much as I see a lot of opportunity for our community. I think that community into the future. We have a lot of opportunities for economic growth. We have a lot of opportunities to improve our affordable housing issue. We have a lot of opportunity in Fort Dodge, and I would love to help with that. So if I were elected, that is what I would be doing, is helping move Fort Dodge forward.
Anybody else want to add anything?
I want to add something.
Go ahead.
I wasn't complaining. The only reason I wanted to get on the city council is, just like I said before, to help people. I'm a good Samaritan. I'm one of the best Samaritans you go to see. And that's my only purpose. I stop in the middle of the street and help people that they need. So I want to continue that. If I read the Wharton Plaza, they said something about 5 million and tear it down. So you better tear it down before the price keeps going up. Get rid of it.
Okay. All right. That's everybody. If you're in support of adding police officers, how do you, and also cameras, how would you suggest that be paid for?
I'm in favor of adding, just supporting the police, so if that means adding, then let's do that, but if I get on the city council, let's look at the books, let's see what's happening, maybe we have a lot of police officers, needed police officers already, and the ratio is not being operated correctly, maybe we need to look at longer shifts, well, they're doing 12 hours, I believe now, maybe shorter shifts and 3 shifts, 8-hour shifts instead of 12-hour shifts. You know, let's not tire our police officers. You get tired behind the squad car. So how do I support that? Well, we try to cut the budget and not spend useless monies and try not to raise anything. Just let's see where we can decrease the funding.
Okay.
Yeah, I would actually echo that. I would want to support the police force based on comparable cities. So if that means we should have more people so that, again, we aren't having people who are overtired or working too long hours, then absolutely, as a small business owner, I can see that you wouldn't want somebody overworked. They're not going to give their best. And if we expect the best from them, then we should support them. From what I understand, it is a costly venture to add one police officer, and typically adding one is not adequate. So I think looking at our current situation and finding out what is the best way to make the most impact if we are hiring just one at a time, I would be willing to look into that. I'm absolutely interested to see what the results will be.
You gotta, I don't think we need more police officers on the road. You got the mental health issues out there on the street. People walking around like zombies and stuff, and I'm looking at their face, you know, I wish I could help them, but I can't. I ain't got the money to do it. I thought the police thing was, for the amount of people, was 38. I think we don't pass 38, so the North 9th Street, North 8th Street, they tore the houses down and got the people out. So that ain't no big issue anymore. Forget North 8th and North 9th. That's not a problem anymore. I support the police. I like the police. I get along with the police. When I came to Fort Dodge at the age of 67, I wanted to be a police officer. Just got out of the military. They said, you're 2 inches too short.
Thank you. Police force and cameras, how would you pay?
We have 2 resource officers in the school district right now. We could probably put them on patrol, and that's gonna make people mad, but you could also intertwine the school district camera system back into the LEC and have dispatch have eyes on the school at the LEC at dispatch. You don't need those resource officers in 2 schools, we have elementary schools and private schools, we don't need 2 officers in those schools. Put them on patrol, bring the camera system into the LEC and have a camera system right there showing entrance and exit and hallways of the school system. So if there's problems, they have eyes and ears right there. You have the administration who should be able to handle school. And then we can put those two officers on patrol. Now, adding cameras to the city, we might have to do like a pop can drive, like the fireworks way. Maybe we have to do it that way. But anything we can do to save up money in the budget, we can get more use of our squad cars as well and get more time on them, so we're not trading vehicles too much to save a little bit on the budget.
I support the police officers immensely. They've got probably one of the roughest jobs you'd ever want to have, and God bless that they're there for us. But, and they're asked to do things that police officers never have been asked to do before when it comes to dealing with mental health and children running around, you know, not being cared for by their parents. So their jobs are more than just, you know, the average police officer anymore. But we just gotta make sure that we spend the city's money wisely. If we need more police officers, then that's what we need to do, and we need to find a way to do it. If we need more cameras, we gotta find a way to do it, because our crime rate needs to come down, so every individual, man, woman, child, old person, and kid can walk around and be safe when they walk out the door, go to school, and come home. They've gotta feel like they're safe in this community, and that's the way we'll help everybody out.
Many, many years ago, the police department, correct me if I'm wrong, they went out and went for some grants. I think to support 3, 4 police officers at that time, I don't quite remember. But that's one way of going out and doing what we did many, many years ago. Looking for grants to see if we can bring in more police department, people in the police department. Cameras, you notice now we've got a lot, downtown right now. We're talking cheap order, we got those cameras that help a lot, it's also the crimes are going on down. So yeah, the cameras won't work, the money's spent, I think.
Well, coming from education, K-12, if we were to use those resource officers as patrol officers, there's programming that can be implemented into the Fort Dodge school systems, like Mentors and Violence Prevention, which is a bystander, mentorship program that funnels down from either the college level to high school to the middle school. I've seen it in action in lots of colleges and, school programs throughout the state, and it works. It keeps violence out of the school, so, I mean, if that was a solution, again, I don't know what the numbers look like on that. I'm really excited to be on the city council, because I want to help recruit and retain quality police officers in our community. I'm not saying that we don't have that now, but moving forward, if we are gonna have to hire, I wanna make sure that we're recruiting and retaining quality officers, as part of the solution.
Thank you very much. This is, I guess, a specific question. What is your number one specific priority that you would promote for Fort Dodge? What's the number one priority you would take on to the council? I don't know if you'd like to start this.
Right now, if I was on the city council, I would go downtown, go to the board of supervisors, and tell them that we had this building at 110 North 12th Street, and they got a building, I think it's county on. And anyway, open it up as a place where people can stop in, sit down, get more, get information, where to go, who to go see. Not go to a place and say, well, you need to go to Upton Road. No, you need to go to the health department. I'm telling you, the people out there, I see them every day. Some people, most people be at home sleeping. I be out riding around the community looking at it. I care that much about Fort Dodge. So,
First thing I would do, the broadband project, the price rate, the lowest package is $75. We have a large amount of population on Social Security or disability, or fixed income of some sort. We need to have a lower price point for that demographic, make it more affordable so everybody can have broadband. With the amount of kids going to school and doing online schoolwork, $75 is real steep. When Frontier still has a $50 a month package, we want to get that majority of that customer base in this community on that fiber project that we're spending money on. Let's get a price point package for all residents that makes it affordable. That'd be the first thing.
Well, I believe in the job growth as much as anything, and that just trickles down to everything else. Because if you have more businesses, more employees, more of your contractors, more of your electricians, more of your plumbers being able to be a part of that infrastructure, which more of your money is always getting spent inside the community, that helps 15, 20, 30 organizations rather than just one specific. So job growth would be my main concern. There's so many of them that it's hard to touch on.
Well, if elected on the city council, you have to take consideration that, we have to say something nice for them, that this time it's a tough job to go through doing the budgets. I mean, each of them are thinking of how much it's gonna cost the senior citizens, how it's gonna affect this person, affect that person. So, to me, the budget is a priority, but to me, the council has to really think hard on how we spend the money to try to keep everybody happy. I know we can't keep everybody happy, I'm one of them. But the thing is, it's city council, it's a hard job, and the biggest thing is the work they do is the budget. So I give them a lot of credit for going through the details of their budget.
Although I think jobs, long-term is something that really needs to be concentrated on the infrastructure. I mean, we had a water main break between my business and Daniel's Pharmacy on Christmas Eve, and you cannot tell me that it's cheaper to pay someone on Christmas Eve to come out and repair that or work on that project, that it would be, we were maintenancing and taking care of these things ahead of time before they're breaking. Infrastructure.
Number one priority.
So my number one priority for the city of Fort Dodge is conservation. We've already done a really great job with water recycling, with the ag park. I think that we need to continue to add to those sorts of things. So with our existing yard waste program, I would love to implement a city-wide compost program. This would reduce the waste that is going into the landfill already, but also it creates an opportunity for a revenue stream for the city, but also a way to reuse those items. So your compost can become great soil. Call me a nerd, I'm a horticulturist, sorry. But I think that this is an opportunity for it to be a great revenue stream, but it's also something that can be used around the city. So it's a revenue stream and also reduce costs. So to me, that seems like a good step forward.
Yeah, I could sum everyone's comments up by, when I'm on city council, I'm gonna provide and protect the citizens of Fort Dodge. I'm gonna provide by investing in Fort Dodge monies into Fort Dodge. So when there are big projects, we're looking at those providers from Fort Dodge to spend their monies to improve the Fort Dodge economics. And to protect, we already talked about the police, we're also talking about communities, neighborhoods, allowing neighborhoods to do their own bonding and belonging and affiliation so that they can only better themselves and have a police officer on walking beats and protecting the citizens of Fort Dodge.
Thank you. We've got about 5 minutes left for questions, then we'll go to closing comments. This is, you can kind of answer these quickly, we get these, I'll ask you questions in. First of all, why do you think you're the best person for the job?
Well, some of you know me, I'm always honest, I'll always dig in and find the answers, find both sides of the story, and I will spend your dollar like it's my dollar, which you're gonna get a dollar's worth of goods out of a dollar's worth of investment.
I feel that I've learned from the previous councilman, Don Wilson, Gene Rose, Martin Pattis, Dean Ellis, and Art Taylor, that they're the type of people that were, every time they make decisions, they want to know how it's going to affect the people in Fort Dodge. And I kind of believe in that issue, so if I am elected to the city council, with my priority will be the people of Fort Dodge first.
Number one priority, I think, is just, invigorating our community and making us a collectivist community, and not so much of an individualistic community. We need to work together to make our community great. So we're not calling it Dirty Dodge anymore. Whether we pick up litter, doing other community things. I think it's just so important that we bring the people together.
So I can kind of follow up with this question. The original question was, what do you think, why do you think you're the best person to be on the council? But then the priorities also related to that.
I think I'm the best person for the council because, you know, I'm intelligent, I'm level-headed, I bring a lot to the table as far as, my background and my research. I know how to do the books. I just started a business a year ago, and let me tell you, it's not always easy to do the books when you don't have money to do the books. But we made it through the first year and we're successful, and I'm doing great now, and, so yeah, I think that's why I think we're best candidate.
Why am I the best? Because I have a gift of relationships. I'm a relational person. I am responsive. I'm approachable. I'm a team player. I can say no if I have to. I know professional boundaries. I know personal boundaries. I'm a collaborator, and I'm very trustworthy.
I am the best person for the job because, sorry, I've never had anyone tell me to speak up. It's like very loud. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I will always seek to understand any angle of any issue. I'm really passionate about this community, so I hope that has shown. I'm always willing to learn and listen. I'm a team player. I don't believe in rocking the boat just for the sake of rocking the boat. I'd rather work together and so we can accomplish things. As a small business owner, we typically want to make our decision, come together, discuss all the options, make the decision. I understand that's not how government works, but I have that mentality. I'd rather come together, make it work for everybody. I also believe that I can bring a unique perspective because I have not only lived in Fort Dodge, I've lived in other places, and I feel that I can bring that perspective to our community for benefit.
Okay, thank you. Eugene, why do you think you're the best person for the candidates?
I can't come to that conclusion. Only the voters can come to that conclusion. I can tell you, I feel like I'm the best person for the job because I care so much. You don't run for office from 1979 to 2022 unless you feel something about the situation. I say it again, I can work with the city council. There may be something they thinking about and don't see it, and I can see it just as plain as day. So, I hate for the loss that Fort Dodge has lost by me not being on the job. I visualized, I could have did this, I could have did that, but time went by and never got done. One other thing I meant to tell you people that my desire is to have a pedestrian bridge running to the west side.
Nobody's perfect for the job, we're all human, we're gonna make mistakes and make half the people mad, but that's the job. So, I'm gonna take it on, I'm in insurance, I get a lot of heat. You haven't seen inflation rates, your bills lately, I'm used to it, I can take it, I've been on the other side of the aisle, I've dealt with labor relations and contracts. Half of them are gonna love me, half of them are gonna hate me, but I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm here in the community, with kids in the community, growing in the community, putting roots in the community, and providing jobs for people. So I hope that can be fulfilled.
Thank you very much. I think with that, unfortunately, that's the last time we have questions. So, who would like to start with the 1 minute closing comments and just get on the table? What do I want to hear?
So, hi again, Megan Seacor, don't forget me. I'm really passionate about the Fort Dodge community. I hope that is shown in this time that you've gotten with all of us. I'm really passionate about moving us forward into the future. I am not afraid to speak up when I think that something is not right. I'm not afraid to ask questions, and I'm always willing to learn and to listen. I think that's what makes a good city council member, and that's why I can.
Okay. Eugene? Closing comments.
If you give me a chance to serve on the city council, you won't regret it. You might think that's a adversary thing between me and the city council. It's not. It's not no adversary. I can work with them, they can work with me, we can sit down and figure things out and walk away, shake hands and be friends. So don't let that stop you. I just hate that I've spent all of these years, when I look back and I could have had an idea for this, I had an idea for that, but I never got the chance to do it. 10 seconds left. In 2000, I ran for board of supervisor. I won the election. They threw out 8 of my votes of 8 people in Pleasant Valley neighborhood. I never told a lot of people that, a lot of people don't know that. I'm gonna tell you now. Thank you.
Just closing comments.
Yeah, this one's the comments.
Uh,
1 minute.
I think I'm a good person for the job because I deal with the community already. I have interaction with 1,000 customers with Fort Dodge Wolfville. I know a lot of people, I've dealt with issues with budgeting. I'm a pretty frugal guy, and I know how to balance the budget, keep the business afloat. And I hope I can earn your trust to keep Fort Dodge on the right path and growing in the continuing years.
Thank you. Wayne, 1 minute.
Yeah, again, my name is Wayne Mason. I'm gonna ask you for your vote. My wife and I have owned and operated a business since the mid-90s, so we know how to do the books, we know how to balance the budget. We've done all the little things that has to be done, and I will spend your money like it's mine, like I said. All I want is the absolute best for Fort Dodge, and I will work for you and for this community to be the best place it can be, because I believe it is the best place you can be.
Thank you. Richard.
Okay, I'm very gratified for the responsibility for my board to sign our petition with Eugene Newsom and others, and myself circulating throughout the city of Fort Dodge, allowing the voters to choose the candidate that they want. I want to work for the citizens and with the citizens in decision making. My goal is to listen to the citizens' problems and address pursue a solution. I want to be a team player to help this community thrive. So I'm asking for your support and your vote, and when you vote in this primary special election, I thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I'm Dr. Kyrie Borsay. Just closing remarks, reminder, I'm a business owner. I'm a business owner in the Main Street community, so I'm very vested in that community. I'm also an employee here at Iowa Central, and I want to see Fort Dodge be a clean, safe space for my students because they're amazing young people that I care for very much. I want to thank you all for coming out and for my friends and family for all your awesome support through this. This is the first time I've done something like this, so yeah, I just think that thank you all for coming out and at least giving us an opportunity to speak about our different characteristics and what we might bring to the city council here.
Thank you.
And thank you. Jim Seward, I've been involved in Fort Dodge for the last 11 years, 1 month and 8 days. In the time here as a youth shelter care executive director, I helped Community Christian School get to where they are now, the old Holy Rosary. I integrated and implemented that cell. I've been in the arts. I've been in theater, community theater. I was Daddy Warbucks and Annie 2014, if you remember that. I was bald. And 2021, I was Mr. Greenway and Elf, but I got COVID the week of production, so I couldn't be there. In this auditorium, I was with the community choir and preaching and doing the devotion as we sang beautiful voices in Fort Dodge. There's so much talent there. And I helped Prairie Lakes Church, part of their launch team in 2014, to find a home here in Fort Dodge. And now that is my investment in communities. I hope that you give me an opportunity to invest in you as a city council member.
Thank you. All right, we want to thank everybody here for participating. Thank the audience, thank those who are watching. The elections this Tuesday, so we hope you get out and vote. And thank you